7 o'clock.
Today's news.
JP Morgan Chase steps in to take on the deposits and assets of First Republic. Texas manhunt.
It is my number one priority to find him.
Escape from Sudan.
I left everything, my horse, my car, my everything.
Good morning. I'm Steve Cason with the CBS World News Roundup. Overnight, federal regulators moved in to seize First Republic Bank. JP Morgan Chase has been selected to buy most of its assets. First Republic has been watched closely since the bank failures that took place in March. Its stock has lost 97% of its value since then. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
JP Morgan Chase is coming in, buying all the deposits, buying most of the assets, and that really does mean that all the consumers who have accounts at First Republic can actually relax, because you're just going to walk into your branch if you need some help. JP Morgan is going to make those transactions. Everything's kind of cool.
Now to Texas, CBS's Janet Shamlian has the latest on a manhunt that began Friday for a 38-year-old man accused of shooting and killing 5 people in his neighborhood north of Houston.
A heartbreaking get-together as the community of Cleveland remembered the 5 people gunned down with an AR-15 style rifle. Hundreds of deputies and detectives combed the region north of Houston for the man police say went on a deadly rampage.
We do not know where he is. We don't have any tips right now.
The attack happened Friday night, the sheriff says, after a neighbor asked the suspect to stop shooting his gun in his yard so an infant inside could fall asleep.
He says it's his property. He'll do whatever he pleases on his property. The man went back in the house. Next thing they know, he's walking up the driveway with the rifle in hand.
Deputies say the suspect had been drinking before he entered the neighbor's home and started firing.
5 people died in my county.
All 5 are from Honduras. Wilson Garcia's wife and son were killed in the attack. I don't have words to describe what happened, Garcia said. He went and shot her without saying a word, Garcia said, then came inside to find us all. 2 other women were found dead on top of surviving children, apparently shielding them from gunfire.
In Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, police have charged a 19-year-old man with shooting and killing 2 teens and wounding 4 others at a house party. Trees down, homes damaged in Virginia Beach after an apparent tornado. Stephen Keck lives there.
I just can't believe the damage. When I walked down 1 block, there were times where I didn't even recognize where I was.
There's also severe storm damage in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
When the trees started to whip and all the stuff started blowing around and everything on my patio went flying, I knew that that was a tornado.
Overseas, a U.S. Navy ship has taken more than 100 American citizens away from the fighting in Sudan. CBS's Ramy Inocencio is in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, where evacuees are now regrouping.
Mohammed Faraj is from Brooklyn, New York. He said the U.S. Embassy did a good job, but email access was spotty.
Thank God the one we did get, we used it, and we're here.
11-year-old Novivi said she was exhausted and afraid.
I was very scared because I was scared of the army.
Malaz Khalid is from Queens, New York.
Seeing like dead bodies on the street, seeing like things.
Overnight, more anxious people crowded Port Sudan, waiting for the next transport to take them and their families away from a country on the edge of civil war.
CBS's Charlie D'Agata is in eastern Ukraine with the latest on a new round of Russian missile strikes.
This is a residential neighborhood in the town of Pavlograd. It's about 70 miles from the Russian front line. And you can see the devastation from this missile attack overnight. A Russian-installed official said it was part of an attack that was aiming at an ammunition depot and a railway line not far from here, but I can tell you this is smack dab in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
4 minutes after the hour.
Well, that's today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody.